Greetings, Bitcoiners in the land of YouTube. Quick question, real quick. Would you rather watch my videos about my opinion, what I think's going to happen, and then say I could be wrong? Or would you rather watch me make videos about saying Bitcoin could go up or down, and then give targets out? If it goes down, might come to here. If it goes up, come to here. Or would you rather watch my videos about my opinion? You know, would you want an opinion-based channel over a technical analysis channel where I just say it could go up or down and here's some targets? Which would you prefer? So mind you, sometimes I won't have an opinion because I just don't know. So anyways, my last video, I was talking about this dumping or actually crashing on your head. It's just, this whole bull run is just basically, the thing about it is all those indicators, all the super technical stuff is all wonderful, but it's all the book. It's all the words. It's the description of what's going on, right? And these markets are shaped by psychology, and I don't know if there's anything more, if there's a market more based on psychology, right? In my last video, I said Bitcoin is an asset that remains the same, right? With the exception of a halving every 4 years. Bitcoin's basically the same Bitcoin it's always been, right? So, especially over the last 8-9 months. So how do you explain all these huge, pumps and corrections? And it's market sentiment, and there's high leverage trading going on in here. So, anyways, I don't want to get into that. I'll talk about that in a video coming up. But real quick, even if Bitcoin, I was saying this is probably crashing back down into this horizontal channel we got going here, from like 29,000 give or take to like 42,000 give or take. It's really been in there since the middle of May, third, fourth week of May. And, I was saying it's coming back down most likely. But the thing is even if it does take a little breather here and pump up to say 45, 50,000, this is still going to happen, right? There's still this $12,000, $13,000 correction coming. 58 to there's 13, and 61 to there's 10 or 11,000, and here's 64 to there's 14, 15,000, and then 58 to there's 28,000, and the most recent one is 10,000. These corrections. So if it doesn't happen now, if this just turns out to be a breather that goes down into the 30s, high 30s or whatever, mid 30s, if it doesn't come all the way back down, and it does manage to fight through this really tough resistance in the low 40,000s, and maybe it comes up to 45, and then the correction comes, or maybe it's super hyped and it comes up to 50, and then the correction comes. But that's the thing, man. It's just this whole year of 2021 has just been the same story over and over. So when I put out those dump and crash videos, it's mainly a warning just to be careful, because you don't want to buy the top of these things, because it's just utter destruction. And I've called the last two before it happened. I called this one here in the middle of June. I called this one here 2 days ago. And I've never seen so many comments get deleted from a video on YouTube of mine. Okay, well, that's not what I want to make the video about, going off on a tangent here. But what we've got here is the daily chart. Recently, I'd had this channel in here about like so, give or take, broke out the top. There was also a big descending triangle in here. But then I got to looking, and I haven't drawn this yet. I drew one trend line on top to see if it would work, but I haven't drawn the parallel. I want to make this video about if we can find something in here with this parallel line. So there's a clear and obvious line here. Look at that. See how that's working? It's extended down here. Those 3 data points are just perfect, just slightly under the tip of the wick. I drew a trend line here to see if it worked, and then I fired a screen recorder up because I want to see if I use a parallel tool, let's see if we can, let's see where this bottom might match up. This is the first time you're seeing it as I see it, so I get my reaction here. Move it up to about in that ballpark, and then see if we can get it to match on the bottom side with any of these. Not really. Well, hold on a second. It's close, but no. I was hoping we could find some dramatic correlation there. That's not bad right there, but well, it could be. You know what? We could probably put it right about there. There's not bad. That's not too bad of a place to put it right there. It's not wonderful, but anyways, we have. Let's get rid of that one. That didn't work as good as I wanted it. But clear and obvious trend line here, right? That's definitely a real nice one. Starting here, just basically go to the tips of the wicks, just a touch under the tips of the wicks. It's pretty much perfect trend line there. So what's that look like? Okay, so that correlates with this strong resistance in the low 40,000s. There's lots of reasons that are matching up here. Right about in through here. Let's just put it at 42.5 for argument's sake. Let's extend this way so you can see 42.7 in that ballpark. So interesting enough, look at it. That's where we bounced or got rejected. Right there. Look at it. So there's lots of reasons. There's lots of reasons for this to be heavy resistance. I'm sure if you're watching other channels, you've probably heard that by now. Video like last week I was talking about these resistance levels here, like 34.8 and 36 and 36.6 and 41 and that ballpark. But these were just local, just kind of real, just lightweight resistant levels. This one's different up here. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Dang it. The words escaping me. But anyways, if we were to drop down over the next, say, 4 or 5 days, this top of this channel is at 31,000. This is the daily chart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, say 5, 6 days from now would be about right at 31,000. 5 days from now, about 31,000. Just for a frame of reference, where this top of this channel would be if we did come down that far. So the traditional markets will be opening shortly here Monday, August 2nd, and we'll see what happens to Bitcoin. This isn't really, in my opinion, this isn't really somewhere where big pocket investors would say, "Hey, I think I'll dump a bunch of money into Bitcoin today." Looking at this, I don't think so. Just looking back at the last 6 of these corrections, was there any massive rebound that fast after like $3,000? No, definitely no, absolutely no. So the last 6, they basically dropped 43, call it, to 13,000 over 4 or 5 days. 57 to 12,000 over about 4 days. This one here actually had a little rebound, 61 to, it still dropped about 8,000, but then it did rebound, but then it proceeded to drop down again. So watch out for that. Watch out for a little rebound up and then another drop. That one there is a little different than the other 6. Here, 64 to, I'll go to the bottom of this wick here, 14,000 over 4 or 5 days. This one here, 58 to say like 4 or 5 days. It went down here to $13,000 loss. This one here, 4 or 5 days, from 41 to 34. But then the next couple of days, 28. So that's $13,000 loss. So one time out of the last 6, it went down from 60, about 8,000 or so, rebounded up about 7,000, and then proceeded to dump down for a total of a $12,000 loss over about 2 weeks. So if that same structure plays out here in general for the last 6, you're looking at, say, call it 42 to like, wow, look at that, right? Right at the top of that channel. And next few days would be 30,000, 31,000. So that would be your $12,000 loss before it hits the bottom and then pumps back up, right? Up here somewhere. And maybe that's where we get up to 50,000, or maybe we're just in the bear market and we don't know it, right? That could be possible. Let's draw the support line in here, this horizontal channel we're in. We haven't left it since third week of May, so we dropped down into it. I do need to say, I don't want to make this video too long, but I do need to say I was around here, back here, watching basically every hour of this. And back in January, month of January, this big wick here was Elon Musk putting the word Bitcoin in his Twitter account. And then like a week later, Tesla announced they bought Bitcoin, 1.5 billion. That was huge, massive news. This market erupted then. So I specifically remember us coming up here, or us, Bitcoin coming up here at about 42,000 and getting rejected harshly. And it was just not good through here. It was doldrums. It was not a good feeling, not good sentiment. And this Elon Musk tweet just pumped energy into the market, and it started the rumor that Tesla had bought. And then a week later, they announced officially that they had bought, and that's what broke us through this top resistance line at the 40, just say 41 to 43,000. Let's make this a little thicker in here. Let's put another one here, like let's put one like right there inside that area, give or take. Confluence. There it is. That's the word. There's confluence. If you watch a lot of other channels, you'll find confluence. Lots of reasons for this strong level in the low 40,000s. What it took to break through there finally, because it was not good through here from January 9th or so to January 29th. It was just kind of doldrums, and Elon Musk energized the market and sent it on this little pump here. And then here was the official announcement. It was just fireworks from that point on, right? Basically pumped it from 40,000 to 58,000 or so. And the interesting thing about this is, you might not hear this from other people, is February 21st was basically the top of this market, right? This was basically the top, even though it's only at like close to 59,000. The true top's up here. But this was basically it. Everything from here on is basically just sideways movement, right? This was a Coinbase IPO by the rumor sell the news event that took it from like 60 to 65, give or take. So that 5,000 was basically that. So this is basically the top. I mean, it's not, of course, but just in a broad scheme of things, this market basically topped February 21st, right? So that's 5 months ago, 5 months in a week. That's a long time ago. And we've basically just sideways and down since then. So, you're talking about, probably like 500 billion. I haven't looked at the numbers, 500, 600 billion to get back up to the all-time high. and to get to 100,000 per Bitcoin, you're looking at probably like $1.2 trillion needs to come into this market. So a lot of money's being taken out of this market by traders. So in the broad scheme of things, it's more than like 1.2 trillion. You know, you might need like you might need like $3 trillion to enter this market to get it over to 100,000. That's a lot of money, man. So just keep that in perspective. It could happen. What I've always been saying back here on the bull run, what I was saying is like if nations and banks start buying Bitcoin, that's when a big pump with trillions of dollars could happen. But the retail market's not going to do that ever. I shouldn't say ever, but the retail market, you and me, we're not putting $3-4 trillion into this in the next 5 months. It's just not happening. So, well, I mean, technically, yeah, this is the retail market, and that would happen. But I mean, you know what I mean? It would take big pockets, big time players to stick money into this retail market for that to happen. It'd basically be a global nation, you know, nations investing their current, you know, anyways, that's a lot of money. So just put that in perspective. It could happen, but it's going to take big news, like sovereign nations investing part of their treasury into it. You know, like if the United States said we're putting 5% of our central bank money into Bitcoin today, that's the kind of stuff that would take this into the, you know, 200, 300, 400,000. I think that's being clear now because this isn't about hodlers. Like if we all just invested and hodled, this, you know, Bitcoin might be at $250,000 right now, but that's not what's happening. Money is constantly leaving this market through leverage trading and whatnot. But anyway, new trend line here for sure to watch. This guy here, maybe we come down and well, you know what? That would be a little. If you take the top, this yellow line and the top of this blue channel, they would come together. Well, that's interesting to watch. Watch if Bitcoin gets squeezed over the next month or two. If we don't break out the top, or if we don't break down to, you know, 20,000s, if we stay, if we come back down here towards this channel, come back up, say here, get rejected by this yellow trend line, come back down, and we might be in a little pattern here that might that's interesting. Watch this yellow trend line coming down and this blue channel line coming down, and watch out for Bitcoin to get crunched in here. This would be a pattern that would have a better probability of breaking up. And so lots of people out there didn't like my analysis about Bitcoin going down to 20,000. But that's actually a good thing. That actually everyone out there, that's exactly what we wanted, because Bitcoin coming down to 20,000, 19,000 in that area would have been like a basketball player getting both his feet under him and just going straight up for a monster dunk. But this little pump caused by Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey and Cathie Wood back here July 21st, this was not good. They basically shot y'all in the foot, and a lot of you probably didn't realize that. You were probably celebrating this is great news, yay. But that's actually bad. That, in my opinion, this took the steam out of the bear market, out of the dump. So, you know, if we came down here and did some accumulation, big time investors would have got interested at 20,000 and under, and it would have put a lot of power into this next pump. This is like kind of like a Picasso painting, this green pump here, right? It's elegant and nice and beautiful. And then all of a sudden there's like an ear coming out of the shoulder of someone, right? This if I get rid of all these drawings and just look at this, it just looks like it's so out of place, man, right? It just doesn't even look like it belongs. It's like have you ever seen a basketball or football player come off the field and one of their fingers is dislocated and it's like pointing the wrong way? You know, it's like pointing back towards their body when they're holding their arm out. You know, their other four fingers are normal and their fifth one's bent backwards and maybe sideways also. That's what this looks like to me, right? We've got a nice little structure going here that if it would have been allowed to play out, it probably comes down lower and gains a lot of steam, and we go parabolic later on maybe. This, I think, took that steam out, in my opinion. This could cause a prolonged blah, blah, blah session. Like back here, it took Tesla announcing a major investment to get it through that resistance. In order for it to come through that resistance and break up to 45.50, I'm pretty sure there's going to have to be some kind of big psychological wonderful news, right? Like, 6-7 sovereign countries are putting part of their money into Bitcoin, that kind of news, man. I think, or maybe Apple and Amazon, if they actually did officially announce they're in, that's the kind of news it would take to get up through there. And I just think just looking at this big green, it's starting to look better now that it's got some red coming back down. It's starting to look a little more normal. But if you take these 3 red candles off the side here, this just looks like a hand, right? An athlete's hand, kind of. I mean, it doesn't, but just imagine. And then there's this pinky finger just twisted the wrong way, like. So it just doesn't look like it belongs there. It's a fake. It's a fakey pump, right? So the guy that founded Twitter, Elon Musk, bought in this range back here, and Cathie Wood, who's heavily invested. Three people that are invested in Bitcoin. The person that runs Twitter that has can drop or pump Bitcoin 20% with a single tweet from the right person, or a tweet that goes viral, or however that works. Those 3 people, for you bulls out there, you're celebrating that, but they might have just shot you in the foot, man. This could cause just an unnatural thing. If it would have been allowed to play out, it was probably coming down here, and maybe it still will. But if this turns out to just be if we just kind of go sideways for a couple months, it's less powerful, right? It's just less powerful for the potential parabolic pump. If it would have been allowed to come down low, it would have just got a lot of investors in there that were just going to hodl. But this is basically trade bait. This is a lot of leverage in here. It's probably going to dump on your head. But anyways, I'm just kind of babbling now. I'll let you go. Hope you enjoyed this tidbit. And as always, thanks for watching.